Hi, my name is Patty Barnas. I'd like to tell you about my husband who was a firefighter. My husband, Greg Barnas, was a firefighter. He was a volunteer firefighter for many years. He started off as a junior fire department member when he was about 15 or 16. We got married in 1986, and just about a year before we got married, he became a paid career firefighter with the Jersey City Fire Department. He was an EMT, he rode the volunteer ambulance. He also was a member of 2 volunteer fire departments in Pennsylvania. So he was a volunteer in Wallington, he was a paid Jersey City Fire Department member, he was EMT, he was a member of the Waymart Fire Department in Pennsylvania, and also the Browndale Fire Department in Pennsylvania. They started off with the junior fire department, and then when I had 2 sons, Kevin and John, and when they became about 14 or 15, they started the junior fire department all over again. You know, after years of not being in existence, when my children got old enough, they started it back up again. I also, after my husband passed away, I created a fund in his honor too. It was the Greg Barnas Firefighter Benefit Fund. And what we try to do is help not firefighters, well, we do help firefighters too, but towns that don't have enough money to pay for their own things. Like the Kentland Fire Department in Maryland, they're a volunteer fire department, and they lost one of their fire trucks in a fire. So we gave them a $5,000 donation so that they can try to purchase a new fire truck. And then unfortunately, in the year 2014, there were about maybe 4 or 5 firemen who died after my husband. So we like to give money donations when a firefighter dies. And then when my son passed away of cancer, we added cancer causes to it too. So we purchased different chairs for the cancer center. So we are trying to keep his legacy alive through the fund that we started. It's new, so we're trying to find fire departments that need help. We just don't want to give money to a fire department that just hasn't applied for grants. We're trying to find fire departments that really need the money and don't have support from their local government. The reason that we continued this with this fund is because he was just so into helping other fire departments. He was so interested in training and fire safety, and because he was an instructor, what he would do is a lot of the towns, when they got new equipment, new fire gear or new fire trucks, he would take the hoses off the old fire trucks, he would take the gear, he'd sit in my living room and rip the names off of all the gear and then bring it to Pennsylvania to donate to some of the fire departments out there that didn't have as much. So that's why we really wanted to continue doing the things that he liked to do. And training, he was always training all the young kids, all the volunteers, all the the juniors. He would help prepare them for Firefighter 1, and so that's why I want to focus, on training and safety and that kind of thing. He was a fire chief at 1.2 in Wallington. I can't remember the year that he was fire chief, but it's 3 steps. You're a baby chief, middle chief, big chief, and so we went through all of that, and I swore I would never marry a fireman, and boy did I eat my words. We had so many floods, right? The floods that we had in town. And he was right out there in the boat rescuing people. I was at the Civic Center and he was out on the boat. And I remember my girlfriend called me and she said, Patty, the water covered my car. My dad is 90. How am I going to get him out of my house? He'll never get in the boat. And I said, don't worry, I'll call Greg. And I called Greg, and Greg said, tell her not to worry, we'll get him in the boat. And they got him in the boat. And then my mom was up by my house because her house flooded. And the water was up to the ceiling in the basement. And my son should not have been in the water because he had a weak immune system, but he was out there too. And they had army trucks in town just trying to get people, out of the floods. And my husband was out there, and just, he was probably 2 days they were getting people out. He was 9/11. I remember going to work that day, and he called me on the phone and he said, I'm going over with Wallington, which was the volunteer fire department. And then I said to him, Greg, I said, stay here. You don't need to be a hero. You don't need to go. And he said, no, I need to go. And then, of course, I'm crying. I'm like, you don't need to go. Don't go. And then he called me back and said, I don't have a choice. Now Jersey City did a recall, and he had to go over with Jersey City. And the telephones were down. so I couldn't call him. I didn't hear from him until later that evening. And they stayed there for about 2 days, 2 or 3 days. And then New York City pulled most people out and really wanted to handle it on their own. But I mean, we have a whole book on with pictures and different memorabilia from when he was there, and people would just gloves. People packaged gloves for the fire department, and inside a glove was a little hand-drawn picture from a child that we saved, and people were dropping off cookies and brownies, and when they got off the ferry going across the Hudson River, they were just you hear of a sea of blue. It was a sea of people that just applauded them as they got off the boat. It was just amazing. Well, I mean, I haven't done a lot since I've been here yet, but the people that I have met, they've been wonderful. Nicole, she's from New Jersey. She had reached out to me when my husband died, because her husband had died also a few years back. Another woman, Dawn, reached out to me. I mean, just the support even before I got here already started. And dealing with the people in the organization, making the arrangements, they were wonderful, very accommodating, got me some extra rooms because we had a lot of family that wanted to come. So just very supportive, guided us right when we walked in the door, keep asking us what can they do for us. Just a wonderful organization. And the honor guard downstairs it's beautiful. Just to see the men and women standing at attention, it's breathtaking to see them stand there like that. I guess the one thing that I would want people to remember about Greg is that there is not one thing. He was a loving father, a good husband, a good fireman, and just a good person for his community.